When you have your clay ready to go to start to make your pinch pots, remember if you start out with the clay as round and smooth as you can get the surface, it helps when you finish or when you're about to be finished with your pinch pots. The other thing is when you put them back on your shelves, they're going to start to smash because the clay is soft if you don't have them in newspaper. So at this point, when you put your stuff on your shelf, I have you take newspaper and make a little nest and then sit your piece in that and then cover it up with clay before you, or with newspaper that's damp before you put it in the bag to store it, okay? It gives it kind of like a little bit of protection, a cushion, okay? So when you have your clay ready to go, you have it all smoothed out and as round as you think you want it to be. All three of them are similar in size, because remember your goal now is to get 3 the same size and same shape. You are going to start to make your pinch pots with your thumb and your non-dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, you're going to use your right thumb, okay? You're going to hold the clay in your other hand, the non-dominant hand, and you're literally going to use pressure. You're going to feel the pressure here. You're going to push your thumb into the center, okay? And you're not going to push all the way through. When you start to feel the pressure down here on your hand, stop pushing. And then you're going to take your thumb out. And then I turn it just a little bit so that I can put my thumb in again, kind of making a cross there, because it starts to open your clay up then, okay? Notice your pinch pot will go like this eventually when it's finished. The opening will be on the top. When we're making it, if we make it to the side, you can feel the pressure that's back here on the back side of your hand all the time, so that you don't push through the bottom or get the bottom too thin. The goal for all of your ceramics projects for the thickness of the clay is about 1/4 of an inch, which is like the thickness of a number 2 pencil or a little bit thinner than your pinky finger, okay? So is this too thick now?
Yeah.
Obviously way too thick, okay? So once you get your position started here, if you have nails, you're gonna see right away that in the bottom of here, it makes all kinds of marks. So cutting your nails at this point is the smartest thing you can do. Otherwise, you have to learn how to work around them. Once you get your thumb hole in the center there, you're gonna start to look at the bottom of your clay here. You're gonna take your fingers and you're gonna come all the way down here to the middle. You're gonna pinch gently and then turn. Pinch and turn, pinch and turn, pinch and turn. You can see that I'm gonna pinch and turn all the way around the bottom. And what I have left here in the middle is like a little dimple, okay? So I made even pinch marks all the way around. I'm pinching gently, not a whole bunch hard at one time. If I pinch too hard, I'm gonna make this crack. Remember, I told you before, when we're working with clay, you have to kind of treat it like it's a baby. Gentle but stern, okay? So I'm just gonna keep pinching and rotating then in the next row. You can see the first row of pinching that I did and the second row, all the way around. And then I'm gonna move my fingers up again and just kind of create a third row, okay? Now, eventually we're gonna get rid of those rows. We'll just keep pinching so that they disappear. But now I have 1 row, 2 rows, and 3 rows. And you can see the clay is moving from here up. So it's gonna make this get taller, okay? And it's also gonna widen the opening a little bit. So then I'm gonna move my fingers up again and pinch the next row around. So now I've got 4 rows pinched. What's happening is, you see how the thick clay starts to come up to the top because we're pushing the clay up. We're starting to bring it up, just like when we're throwing on a potter's wheel, okay? I'm gonna just keep going until I get all the way up closer to the top. And once we get to this point, okay, you're gonna see that the opening is gonna get a little bit wider. Now, when I get towards the top, I go around the row more than 1 time when I'm pinching it. You'll also start to notice you get some little cracks here. It's because the clay is stretching, okay? So remember when you were smoothing before, if you just take your finger and smooth over those cracks, you'll get them to go away again. You don't want to let them open up huge, because if you do, you won't be able to get them to go away very easily. So just smooth them as you go so they don't get to be giant crevices instead of little tiny cracks. Especially up here at the top. What is this called? Do you remember the parts here? What is this opening called?
No.
The mouth. Around the lip, this part's the lip here. You don't want to let those cracks get too huge. So I just smooth them out as I go. Then I'm going to go back down in here and pinch this some more. Remember, my goal is to have the thickness of all the walls of my project at 1/4 of an inch. The thickness of a number 2 pencil, or a little bit thicker than your pinky. So you can see once you get up here towards the top, it really starts to take shape and open, but it's still too thick, okay? So where it's thick, I'm gonna take my fingers and just go back and pinch this a little bit more all throughout the sides so that we can start to smooth out the little bumps from pinching in the sides as well. So I just go wherever I see a little lump or bump sticking out and pinch it gently. Kind of like when you tapped it on the outside to smooth it and shape it. You just keep making little pinch marks all over so that you can get it smoothed out. Notice I have not sat this pot down on the table. I haven't sat it on my slab mat, okay? The bottom is not flat. Do you see that? There is not a flat bottom. I haven't sat it down and smushed it on the table to make a flat bottom. We do not want flat bottoms on pinch pots, okay? So don't sit it down because you're not finished working with it. You have to go back and keep pinching and turning so you can feel how thick your clay is. Remember, the goal is 1/4 of an inch, okay? Also realize, how many times have I made pinch pots?
Many.
Yes, many. So I can make it look fairly easy and have it happen really quickly compared to what it may take you. So once you get finished, if you have these nail marks in the bottom, you can just take your finger and smooth those over just like we did other times to get rid of those little cracks so that you have all of the cracks and crevices smoothed out. Same thing around the lip, okay? And then you can also take your fingers and smooth this and pinch this to get this even thickness around the top layer once you get up here to the top. But remember, you don't want to have extra thick clay down here at the bottom and then thinner clay up here at the top, because the top is going to dry out faster then and the bottom will stay wet. So the top is going to shrink faster and then you're going to get cracks in your project. So you are trying to get the walls the same thickness all the way throughout your pot. So you may have to keep going back and pinching more until they all feel like they're the same thickness. And then when you're all finished and you have it the thickness you want, you go back and you smooth out all the little cracks and crevices. Just like we did when we started to make the 3 balls of clay, you'll have the whole thing all smoothed back out. Then you can sit it down on your table once you're all finished. If we don't make the bottom a little bit flat, it's always gonna rock or tip, okay? So once you're totally finished with your pot and it's all smoothed out, you're gonna take it and sit it on the table so it's level, and then just tap it gently. You're not dropping it on the table, okay? You just tap it gently, all right? Because now it's secure and it has a flat foot on the bottom of the pot. Everybody good? Okay, now it's your turn to try it.